Hi folks, welcome to another edition of Gold Bazan. This is Pasha Hajian speaking, and it's an absolute honor for us to announce today that we'll be interviewing Jordi Cruyff, the son of the legendary, iconic figure, Johan Cruyff, which he was a pioneer for total football. It was an absolute honor for us to speak to Jordi about Group B, about his work right now in the Middle East, what he thinks about Carlos Queiroz, and our two key players, Ehsan Hajsafi and Master Shojaei. Those two figures in our reigning national team played against Jordi's side in the Europa League. And we hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Gold Bazan. Right now, joined by Jordi Cruyff. Jordi, it's an absolute honor to have you on. Hope you're having a great day. How you doing?
Hi, very good actually. Working a lot. Coaching is a different job than before when I was a sport director. So learning and trying to improve every day.
Jordi, you just spoke about your sporting director role, and now you're the head coach of this club in the Middle East, and you have a phenomenal track record as a player, playing for teams such as Manchester United and FC Barcelona. Why was it that you saw the Middle East as your next destination to work with, and what made you specifically interested in working in the Middle East?
Well, I played stopping playing football at the age of, I think it was around 35-ish. And I decided to go straight on to a different kind of job. Just a few months after I found myself before a group, a little bit as a sport director. And with a whole new squad, new coaching staff, everything. And that was in Cyprus, which, is the closest European country you can get to the Middle East, I would say. So I spent there 2 years, and then the club came and basically bought me out of there. And since then I've been working here. And I actually do like the mentality here. I seem to like not easy places and situations, but so far I've had a lot of pleasure out of it.
Jordi, the next question I have for you as a coach now and as a former player, what do you make out of Middle Eastern football and Asian football? Some differences or similarities that you've seen between that and European football, because it's just a region that not many folks are very familiar with, and just to various different reasons.
Well, I think I would say the main difference really comes from the education. Differences in education in the youth academies. It's more kind of talent with the ball, these things. But football nowadays, you need to combine when you have the ball, and you need to be good in that. But also when you don't have the ball, you also need to be good at that, to know what to do when you don't have the ball, which obviously has a tactical component. So I think the main difference is that in players active in the Middle East, they love to show their qualities with the ball, but sometimes they forget the other part, the physical part, the suffering part, in which you have to do things without a ball, and you have to run behind the opponent, you have to defend, you have to be strong, you have to follow the tactical instructions of your coach. So there's a lot of things that are a bit different, but I think it starts with youth academy. Basically, that's where you learn these things, and when you're already in your 20s, it's sometimes a little bit too late to change your pattern of play and to learn these things.
Jordi, this podcast is dedicated to Iranian football and Asian football as a whole, and we just wanted to get your general thoughts on what do you think about the Asian teams competing in the World Cup this year.
Well, I think there always have a bit of a mystery, because you never really know what to expect. I don't know many Iranian players. I don't know many, I would say, maybe Japanese or Korean players. I mean, Japanese, they have been coming to Europe lately, so there's a few that have been making their marks in European football. Then you have a team from Tunisia that I also know some names, but most not. Morocco is different, because 80% of their national team actually plays already abroad, many of them in Holland, Belgium, these countries. So they're a bit less surprised, but I think, European teams don't really know what to expect from Asian teams. You don't really know what it's going to be. I think that could be an advantage for these kind of national teams, because they, when people don't know what to expect, or they take you super serious, or they think it's a winnable game, and that's where you need to take advantage of it.
Coach, a few months ago, obviously your club played a fantastic performance against a Greek club, Paninios. We have two of our superstars, actually. Coach, your side played against a Greek club, Paninios, which two of our Iranian superstars that played for the Iranian national team, Hajsafi and Shojaei, played for them. What did you make out of these players?
Well, I didn't really manage, 100% to speak to them. Just I do think it's important that sport is something that is capable of doing things that politics have never been capable of. Sports unites people. Colors, religion, height, strength, weakness. We don't look at that in sports. We only look at performance. And as I said before, sports is there to unite people and not to separate. And I felt that I understood, and I felt that we're in a very difficult situation. Because really, we already know what, and it was a very difficult situation for the players. But I can only say that yes, they, the UEFA imposed a certain kind of fair play attitude on the pitch, and I think they showed that. And when the game started, they didn't give 100%; they gave 200%. You could really see that there was a special thing for them. Yeah, and the problem is when you sign for a club like Panionios, who play Europe, and they dream about qualifying the group stage, and they invested in two players that are key players for them, because they really are key players for them. Then it's difficult for that club to accept that due to political reasons they're not going to play. And you're saying, yeah, but I paying your salary, I put a lot of my budget in this Europa League, and you're not playing. It's a very difficult situation. We had a few years ago, actually, the example of Mo Salah, who now is, I think, is at Liverpool, if not wrong. He was in Basel with another Egyptian player. And there was also an issue there when we played Basel that they didn't want to play. And in the end, they ended up playing because, Basel had a very small result in the first game, so it was only 1-0. So they said, "Listen, you're our best players. We need you guys to to do well." In the end, Mo Salah absolutely, he sort of eliminated us almost on himself. I mean, he was outstanding that game. But the biggest surprise was when he was on the field and he heard a few of our Arab players speaking Arabic. And his eyes went open and he didn't understand what was going on. And the truth is, even in the national team, Israel, there's Arabic and there's Muslim players, there's Christian Arabs, and there's all a mix. As I said before, sport is here to unite and not to judge people on their looks or beliefs or religion. We play for a ball and we compete with each other. We fight strong during the game, but after the game, it's finished, and and that's it. And that's when we part ways.
And looking at Group B, unfortunately, Iran is in that group. Jordi, according to FIFA rankings, according to world rankings, Jordi, Group B is supposedly the hardest group. Countries such as Iran, Morocco, Spain, and Portugal all will be playing against one another in this group. We just wanted to get your general thoughts on Group B.
Yeah, I think basically Iran is a bit the mysterious one. There's not so many of them playing in Europe. Probably there is, but they're not really so on the spotlight sometimes. So I think that's a surprise factor that could be in their favor, and they should use it in their favor. Morocco, again, maybe for Spanish or Portuguese people, it's not such a known national team also, but there is a lot of Moroccans playing in France, in Belgium, in Holland. So they are well known, and I think Spain and Portugal, they're always going to be, in a way, they're always going to be kind of the favorites. I mean, if you see the leagues, you see the players that play for Portugal and for Spain, you would always think that they're going to be the ones making the surprise. Morocco obviously is an African team, but as I said before, a lot of players based in Europe, and I think Iran has that kind of difference that we don't really know. We don't really know what to expect. And that's something Iran has to play in their favor.
Very last question we have here, and thank you again for your time, is that I don't know how familiar you are with Carlos Queiroz's work, even with Iran or maybe even as a coach. Is there anything, general thoughts you just want to speak about him?
Well, I think he's done a good job. Obviously, I heard many things about him when he was assisting Alex Ferguson, but also on himself. He's done some big clubs. Portuguese are people who adapt themselves well, who are very organized in terms of tactics, and the defense is always well organized. They play for results, and I think he's done a very good job, obviously, to qualify. And I'm sure that he also now will be very demanding to his federation, to the players, to everybody, because he knows that the World Cup is the big stage, and you need to be very well prepared to do a good job. And if you come unprepared, then you're home after 10 days. So I think he really wants to make kind of a positive impact, and that's why now I'm sure he's asking all kinds of things just to get the best results possible.
Jordi, thank you so much for your time. I know you have a flight tomorrow, a big important match happening for you. Best of luck with that. And our final last question is, do you see Spain winning the World Cup this summer, my friend?
I think they have all the ingredients. I would think that I think they will have a good chance to at least be one of the 3-4 favorites. They have massive players playing in the biggest clubs in the world. They've got experience as a national team. They've been winning titles in the last 10-12 years. The youth is very good, so I think they're on the right track, and for sure, together with the usual suspects, the Brazils, the Argentina, the Germany probably. I mean, there are always going to be a group of 5-6 countries that have a big chance to win this World Cup.
Jordi Cruyff, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Hope you guys liked our interview with Jordi Cruyff. It was an absolute honor to have him on. Folks, as you know, Gold Bazan Podcast is trying to do its best to spread the word around about Iranian football, spread more awareness of the football outside of the country. And folks such as IranSportPress.com have been really helping us to spread that word, so we just want to give a special shout out to them. Definitely check their website out, IranSportPress.com. And also there's a quite famous Instagram account called Viva Iran, and they've recently have been wanting to collaborate with us as they've realized our work, and we appreciate the work they do to spread the word about Iranian football. So definitely check out Viva Iran on Instagram and Iran Sport Press. And as always, and if anybody that is listening to this, whether you're a reporter or journalist that would like to get in contact with us, the emails of all the directors are up on the website at goldbazanpodcast.com. However, if you just wanted to send out a general email to us, our email is at mail@goldbazanpodcast.com. If there's any concerns or anything, please find us on Twitter at goldbazan. Our Facebook is goldbazan as well. Appreciate it, guys, the support as always, and thank you for listening to this latest episode.